Okay, I hope we're back. So, I briefly started the last stream, went into a service, was getting the train set up, and it crashed at Victoria Station. So, I'm going to try again. I will choose a different service. Let me try one that isn't in rush hour. That might help us. So, I think the one I was doing was the 9:12. Let me pick one slightly later than 9:12. Let's try the 10:42 because hopefully the amount of passengers etc. at the station will be less. If it crashes again, I will try and restart one more time. Because what happens is when the game crashes, the recording automatically stops. So if it does disappear again, that's what's happened. But let's give it a go. And this has been happening to me quite a lot with this route. There's still a lot of work needs doing. Unfortunately, there was a patch yesterday which, fingers in the air, contained performance improvements, but it's not really made any difference that I can see, particularly. So let me try and set this up again. As I say, hopefully this time it won't crash. Let's leave that in forward. We'll open the doors. Okay, I'm going to go back inside and put the safety systems on. Fingers crossed we can actually get out of the station this time at least. Okay, we got further than last time. So we can't depart till 44, so we've got about a minute. Let's have a quick look round outside. It is a shame it's got all the problems that it's got because there's a 465 leaving. It is a nice route. It's so inconsistent. If you do spawn in around peak times, the cursor at Victoria becomes like glue to try and move around. Even on a PS5, which has got some oomph, it still struggles. But yeah, hopefully if we can get out of this station, we're good for the rest of the run. 5 seconds to go. Let's get the doors closed. So we're all the way through to Gatwick, 23 miles. The other thing as well is that I've tended with this route to keep the weather clear. It doesn't seem to, from a memory perspective, it doesn't seem to like anything other than clear weather. There was one I ran earlier today that was in journey mode that had snow on the ground. I think I got this far, I got just out of the station and it crashed. So I've kept the weather clear. Hopefully we can get through it. It does need a lot of work, does need a lot of attention, but it has a potential to be, you know, one of the best routes so far, easily, in my opinion. So we've just gone past the 40 board. We should be able to speed up once the rear of the train clears that. There's Battersea Power Station. I don't know if you see this on stream, but it is very, very slightly stuttering if you look down at the sleepers just at the bottom half of the window. But the further we move away from Victoria, the more it picks up. And generally, once we've been through East Croydon, performance picks up significantly. It's this first portion of the route. I mean, there are a lot of buildings. There are a lot of trains coming in and out. It's understandable to a certain degree. However, it shouldn't really be released until it works, where it's not crashing. And I think this is the only route that I've experienced crashing problems on the PS5. Lots of people have reported crashing on Dresden. I've not had that on Dresden, if I'm honest. But this one, yep, is fairly intense. So this is a 387. It's a really nice livery. Being a northerner, I'm not familiar with this train at all, or the livery, but it's very nice. So there have been two other DLCs released today, which was the BR-187 German freight loco, and also the 1938 stock for the Bakerloo line. To be honest, I haven't picked up either of those. I don't think I'm that interested. And I think given the issues I've got at the moment with the DLC, I would probably have to delete something to be able to see those two locos in the game. I've already deleted 6 routes and their associated locos DLC just to get the rush hour routes back because of the issues we've got at the moment on PS5. So for now, I haven't got those 2 locos. All the rush hour routes are fairly new. There's still plenty to do in those, if I'm honest. By the looks of the forums, those 2 pieces of local DLC haven't been hugely popular today. And DTG is showing those off tonight, 8 o'clock UK time, I believe. So that will be an interesting stream. I think there's been numerous issues this week, not just with the PS5, but across all platforms. Hello, Trainspotter7. How's it going? Sorry about my voice, everyone, if my voice is breaking slightly. I'm just coming off a bout of COVID. So my chest isn't up to full speed at the moment, but it's getting there. Kobe Sub, how you doing? Thanks for jumping in. Appreciate it. Let me open the window, actually. I'm not a big fan of the sound with the window open, but we'll do it. Thanks, mate. Yeah, it's a bit up and down, to be honest. So I'm meant to be out of isolation Sunday, but it's very strange. It's a very strange thing. One minute you feel not too bad, and then the next minute you're up with a temperature and being a bit chesty. So I think there's people that have had it worse. So I'm fortunate in that respect. But yeah, it's not good. So I've had some more time to play a little bit of this anyway. I generally quite like it. Apart from the crashing issues, so you may have noticed that I started this stream once, briefly, and it crashed on me at Victoria Station, so this run's a bit more successful. Let's see if we can get all the way there. That'll be the test. Thanks, Kobe. You're right. To your lemon. In fact, when I did those earlier videos this week on the channel, the one showing what was coming up this week, and then the other one about the trophies, my voice was terrible. I had to keep stopping the microphone every 10 or 15 seconds. It was as much as I could do just to breathe. But especially the trophy one, though, I wanted to get the trophy video out there because that did disappoint me, to be honest. I think that was a complete kick in the teeth for us on PlayStation. So, Kobe, what platform are you playing on? Are you on a PS5 or? I'm not sure I remember which platform you're on. Series S, right? Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, that's the thing that I can't properly work out is that we're all having different experiences across different consoles and platforms with different memory builds, etc., and different resources. And mine has generally been okay, but if I spawn in at Victoria in, let's say, ironically, rush hour. So the one I tried to do before this was at 9:12. There must generally be a little bit more going on, and I can always tell because the minute I spawn into the cab and I try to move the cursor down to do the master key like this, it doesn't move like this. It moves as if I'm sort of pulling it down in treacle, and I can tell once it does that I'm on dodgy ground. So this one though that left at well, it was after 10:30, wasn't it? Was fine. Well, the thing is, Train Spotted, I was working my way through the journey mode, and I was doing all right. I wasn't having any crashing. I was kind of getting through, but I noticed it's to do with the weather. I'm sure it's to do with the weather as well. There was one with snow on the ground. That was the first one I got that crashed, and then there was one I left from Reigate, and that was raining, and it didn't like that either. That one crashed out. So I think it just needs some optimization. But I wish they'd just rush it out because they're only doing themselves some damage, really. Yeah, there is that transporter as well, isn't there? That I've got all the layers, and when you are at Victoria, there's 465s leaving, etc. There's quite a bit of traffic, so it could well be that. full cloudy. Yeah, I'll try that, Corby. I mean this now, all these trains passing each other. I mean, this is great. This is what Trenton World should have been like from the beginning. So I mean, this is really good, but it's coming at a bit of a cost at the moment. I mean, there's plenty going on just there. And we've got a 45 coming up, which I didn't see. Oops. Don't want it in emergency. There's my first fail. Definitely my first fail of the stream. Hello, Salty mate. How are you? Just a brief slowdown there, hitting the emergency brake. I sometimes forget how many steps the brake has got, and I do that quite often. Good man, Salty. So is everybody tuning in at 8 o'clock for the Dovetail stream? I think that could be an interesting one. I don't think Sam's going to answer many questions about the two locos, to be honest. But we'll see. Yeah, Colby, don't drink any virtual coffee on my services. Yeah, train spotter. Has it got? What has it got? The 146 sounds. Was it the 146? Can't remember. Kind of explains though, doesn't it, why there was no preview stream. $185. Yeah. You see, I mean, somebody at Dovetail. Excuse me. Somebody at Dovetail has been testing this loco. You know, Skyhook haven't just handed this over this morning and said, there you go, lads. Somebody's been using it. So somebody at Dovetail has already realised this and probably said, it's too late in the day now. You do know you've used the wrong file. We're going to have to push it out and then we'll fix it afterwards, but it seems a bit sloppy to me. I haven't seen the usual buzz on the forums though today when, you know, usually when new DLC comes out, there's a lot of buzz. I know there's been a lot of backlash, but that's been from a lot of people that haven't actually bought the locos today. They're just reporting what they've seen from people streaming it. So, you know, I've said this in one of my earlier videos. I actually wonder just how popular. Well, the 38 stock certainly. I think that's very niche. But even the 187 now, you know, how popular is that actually going to be? It wasn't really released with any kind of great fanfare, was it? And usually when they're quite proud of a DLC, we hear about it, you know, weeks before. Even if it's a local DLC. It just wasn't the same kind of release this time. But it just could be damage limitation from the problems they've had with this route and with Dresden. Sorry, Salty, I missed that comment. No, I don't really use the livery designer at all, to be honest. There was a trophy, wasn't there, for or achievement for designing your own livery, which I did. I think I went on the 314 on Glasgow, painted it turquoise, saved it, ran a service with it, got the trophies. That's me done with a livery designer. But if sharing is ever a thing, I won't be ashamed to say that I will be borrowing some people's excellent liveries that they design, because I've seen some really nice ones. Particularly, I like the ones that people do with the 47 with the big BR logo on the side, the big white BR logo. I quite like that one. I'd like to see a 37 with that one, actually. But I'm far too terrible an artist to do that myself, and I'm not that patient either. But the sharing should be a thing. Well, Kobe, that St. Ives is tomorrow, isn't it? The stream for that is tomorrow. I think that'll be quite interesting. Like I've said before, I do like the look of the 150, but I know the pictures that they've shown so far of the route, they've come in for a little bit of stick, in usual Rivet fashion. I mean, just look at Arosa. I don't know if they've learnt any lessons since Arosa. I'll tune in tomorrow and have a look, but as I say, right now as it stands, if I wanted any new DLC, I'll have to delete something else. And I'm not prepared to do that right now. I've already lost 6 routes. And now that I've started streaming, I obviously want all the DLC available so I can just pick and choose at random. I've got my fingers crossed for that, Salty, the sharing of deliveries, definitely, because that will make a big difference to people like me who just are not artistic at all. There's some clever people out there. Unfortunately, I'm not one of those. And again, that 313, it looked good to me, but again, being a northerner, it's not a train that I'm familiar with. But I'll bow down to your superior expertise in these matters, especially you, train spotter, because you've probably ridden on them, Lord knows how many times. It looks nice. People seem to be very excited about it. That's a good sign. Rivet are suspect, you're right. Yeah. And so are the rocks. The texturing of the rocks that belong to Rivet, they're very suspect as well. I do remember the comment on the forum though about the beach at St. Ives from the photographs, and someone said it looked like a mud pit. And I went back and looked at the photograph, and actually I agreed with him. It did. It was meant to be sand, but it was very, very dark brown. So let's hope they've messed about with that before it releases. We'll see tomorrow. We've not got long to wait. So 6.5 miles to Gatwick. So what I will do, I'll just take that motion blur, because that's another annoying thing. You change these settings and they sneak back on again. And I don't know why that is, and motion blur is one of them. Let me just change that and apply. That's better for me. Oh, that's interesting. This is the other side of the tunnel. Oh, that's an interesting view. Oh, we're back again. Good. I got worried for a moment then. The thing about Arosa is that nobody's been back and fixed it. There was quite a big backlash about that, and they didn't fix it. And then Cane Creek was the same, wasn't it? I know Cane Creek is Skyhook, that's not Rivet, but similar things apply. A non-DTG DLC, and some fixes were made, but not a great deal. So what worries me about buying a product that's, and this is going to sound stupid, what worries me about buying a product that's not DTG is that it won't get fixed the same. So that sounds like I'm saying DTG ones get fixed, which they don't, not to the level we want, but what I'm saying is there's more chance of a DTG one getting fixed than there is a third party one. That's the only thing that's in the back of my mind. And I say that because we've seen it. That's the way it generally happens. And I've tried to find out whether the third party stuff will get fixed by the preservation crew, but I've not been able to get a proper answer on that one. Yeah, I hope that sand is fixed. Did look a bit ridiculous. There's only Tenerife that gets away with volcanic sand, and they don't have a railway running down the beach. I don't know if you noticed, but the sound keeps cutting out, which is a bit worrying. Right, I'm going to shut these windows for a bit. Start backing it down just slightly. Got a 60 coming up. Cheers, Kobe. Thanks for coming in. Really appreciate it. Catch you soon. I think on this route as well, I prefer these long runs to the stopping services. I do like a good run, so I'm glad there's a few of these that you can go the whole length of the line just with the one or two stops. See, I want to ask you guys something as well. That aeroplane just flew across then. A lot of people on the forum have said there's something up with the aeroplanes. They don't look right, and we know why that is. It's because of copyright infringement, etc., etc. But do things like that really bother you personally? What the I mean, I can understand trackside scenery and what the ballast looks like, things that I understand that. But things like the aircraft, does that actually really matter? I'm struggling to understand that, to be honest. And the Walking Dead are back. Follow the leader.
If you see anything suspicious, please tell a member of staff or the police.
Just give me 1 second, guys, and I'll be right back. Sorry about that, guys. I'm back. But that's made me late now. Okay, let's go to Brighton. Yeah, I wouldn't want people to. I wouldn't want DTG to focus on the aircraft, to be honest. Even if there was an issue, we can't ban trophies and then worry about an aircraft, can we? I'm trying not to talk about the trophies too much. That's a bit of a sore point for me. I don't think they look too bad, to be honest. I'd be more concerned that the rear undercarriage wasn't actually coming out and he's about to land. That'd worry me a little bit more. The actual reason given was that you can only have 1,000 trophies in the game, yet we've got 353 at the moment. So I don't really see what the issue is there. It's unless they're thinking about the future, they decided to stop it now before it gets to 1,000. But it is irritating, Transporter. That's the only reason I made that little video yesterday, is because that is my task list. I do go through journey mode, but the trophies have been there from the beginning. Journey mode hasn't been there from the beginning, so that's what I do to sort of gauge where I am. And I've got all the platinum so far. I've not got this PS5 platinum yet, but I'm on my way towards it. But I got the 2 previous Train Sim platinum trophies. And it's a nice achievement because those ones they were pretty grindy to get, so it did feel like an achievement. If you think about one of these DLCs, right? Let's talk about this one. Okay, we can go to Reigate and back. We can go to Brighton and back. That's the core of this DLC, isn't it? So once you've done that for a few hours, what appeal is there? If you sit and think about it, there's no career mode. There's nothing like that. There's journey mode. Okay, you can complete the journeys, get all the little tick marks. You can collect action points, but you can't use them to download, for example, new skins or liveries or something that DTG have got there as a sort of reward system. They've put mastery in to sort of cover that, but mastery's not working on PS5. It didn't work for me originally on PS4. Then it did, and now it doesn't again. And all the ones I unlocked previously don't appear. The ones that I unlocked in the previous release don't appear now, and supposedly that's linked to my Dovetail Live account, not to my PlayStation account. So the records for that should still exist, yet it's not working. So, what apart from then going A to B, what is there to do? And for me, that is the biggest. That's the biggest question. Trophies give me a little bit extra to play for, and you can't earn them overnight either. So, but the way it's communicated though as well is a bit, saying we understand it's going to be a disappointment, but get over it, sort of thing. And I don't know, kind of got my back up a little bit. And what I didn't say in the video is that, and I'm only talking for the PS5 here, so there is a feature on the PS5, and Xbox have had this for a long time, where if you're tracking towards a particular trophy, you can actually see how far you are towards that trophy. So if it's one for 50 services, you can kind of see where you are. Whereas at the moment, or if you're on PS4, for example, you're only be able to see that trophy pop when it popped. But one of the main features of the PS5 is that they introduced this similar to Xbox, where you can track several trophies in a dashboard and see where you are against them. Now, DTG didn't put in that functionality into TSW, which was a shame. So, this is not Sony saying we don't want people to have trophies. There's something going on between DTG and Sony and I think it's with the design of the game, which goes back to when TSW was first brought out. Nobody really understood consoles. They've come from the purely PC angle, and now the design of the game has gone so far, it's difficult for them to unpick it. I think it's more something like that, more than Sony's fault themselves. Certainly where trophies are concerned. But in yesterday's video, I wanted to try to point out that you've got core rail fans who will play this whatever, and things outside of that don't really matter. Trophies are not okay. They're there, but it's not really something they're there for. Those people are already bought into this game because they're rail fans. They're always going to want to do this, no matter what. But I came into this not really as a rail fan. I came into this as a PlayStation player, and I saw that this was available, and I thought, oh, that'll be really good. I wouldn't mind doing that. Let's have a look at the trophy list. And I saw things like Rapid Transit, complete every service in Rapid Transit, and I thought, well, I don't really know how many services Rapid Transit has got until I start playing. But it sounds like it could be a grindy trophy, but quite satisfying. In the end, it wasn't. It was a bit of a pain, but that's a different story. But do you know what I mean? DTG have got rail fans hooked already. They need to work a little bit harder for those that are just console platform players that might want to play this game. It's them that they need to hook in, if that makes sense. And I tried to get that across yesterday. And all they're doing is by banning trophies is kind of alienating that side of the player base. So I don't know whether there'll be a career mode or something similar to that to replace it in a future patch. I don't know. I'm sure they've got quite a few things up their sleeve, but it does worry me a little bit just in the last month, the kind of things that have been going on that they've said they've not known about. The particular issue with the 64 gigabyte DLC maximum size issue, that coming in with the last PlayStation software update, yeah, it probably did. But let's face it, that software has been in beta for several months. So are DTG seriously telling me that nobody is in the beta program at DTG? I mean, they must have a developer program as well that probably get the beta even earlier than that. So it's not as if this software hit and then they suddenly found out about it. There was opportunity, I'm sure, to find out about this months before it actually became an issue. And if it was, they should have acknowledged it months ago when they were first made aware. So I don't buy all this. Sony's done this, or we are where we are, and I just don't buy it. And that's just my personal opinion. So we've got just under 9 miles. See, this is the other thing. There's no passengers on this train. So, not one person wants to go to Brighton today. Which is very, very, very odd. I can only think, Transporter, that's another optimization thing. You can see them getting on and off, but they don't actually appear if you look down the actual train. So I don't know. It does seem odd. It is a good route, though. It is a nice route. I won't deny. And if they can get all the issues ironed out with it, you know, it could be very popular. I think if they are gonna put any DLC on this route at some point, they'll need to get it fully working first. I did the 2 freight services as well in the 66. They're actually quite good. It's a shame there's not more freight on there. I did. Everyone's talking about Thameslink, but I did wonder or not whether they would introduce some kind of freight pack for this route. Perhaps with something different to the 66 for a change. I think that'd be quite welcome. But again, I don't really know what runs down this end. Well, let's get ready for this 75. A 67 or a 70, yeah. I would definitely like to see something else freight-wise, UK freight-wise. In the German routes, there's so many locals there for freight, aren't there? But it doesn't seem to be the same for the UK side of things. See, the performance is good. After East Croydon, there's no issues whatsoever. It looks normal again. It's just Victoria, sort of Victoria area you've got to watch for. Looks good down this end. Okay, we've got a double yellow. Just make sure I don't spaz. Brighton platform 3 we're going into. So we've got a bit of traffic here coming out of Brighton, which has now cleared us through, which is good. Didn't need to come to a complete stop. Hella short, get the big light on. How you doing, Sharky? Well trained spotter, you know my vote there. It's always going to be West Coast Main Line. You know you don't have to ask me that. There's the 09. And you do right, Sharky, as well. I don't blame you, not one bit. It probably runs a bit better than this as well, to be honest. And ladies and gents, this is Brighton. So that's a full run end to end from London Vic down to Brighton. It's taken us just around an hour, just under an hour. So it's a nice run. So I think I'll finish it there. It's just a short one tonight. My voice isn't holding up very well. So thanks everybody for jumping in. I appreciate it as always. Always good to have a chat. And hopefully I'll feel a bit better by next week and we'll be back on track. So until then, I will talk to you soon. All the best, guys. Thanks for now. Bye then.